God and rage about him? Because we have to stoop to your level. You don't understand our level, because when we say there's no God, we're saying there's no evidence for any God. And so we have to come down to your level for you to understand how we look at your religion.
Hey, hold on, caller. What can we call you? What is your name?
Rich.
Rich. Okay. It doesn't have to be a real name. It just has to be something we can call you.
That is my real name.
You talked about proof.
Oh, and by the way, I want to thank the host. Thanks for going through all that, because I wanted to respond to what you said, because there's one thing I think you would agree on, but let me let the gentleman talk, and then...
No, that's fine. No, please tell us what you think. That would be very interesting.
Oh, you want? Okay. This is what I think. I didn't hear any proof and evidence that would show that atheism is accurate and correct. What you said was... Your God
we don't have the obligation to provide you any proof of a negative.
You did claim that God doesn't exist. Yeah, you did claim that God doesn't exist.
I claim that there's no evidence. Did you not hear this?
Guys,
there is no evidence that any God exists.
Atheism is
so
accurate and
we can't provide you evidence of a negative. It is impossible to prove a negative.
I can rifle off 6 arguments for God's existence real quick, and then I want you to give me some arguments for atheism.
Well, we can repeat your argument.
Teleological argument. Listen, hold on.
First of all, is by the nature of
through objective moral values.
Excuse me.
We can talk about abiogenesis also, but I haven't heard any evidence that atheism is accurate and correct.
Etc.
I didn't get a chance to respond. You told me to respond, and then when I start, you cut me off. But go ahead.
No, I just want to go back and talk about the nature of proof, right? And the nature of proof is the fact that if you assert something, then the burden of proof is on you. The burden of proof is not on the person that
you made a knowledge claim. The host made a knowledge claim God doesn't exist.
Please listen to what I'm saying. Please listen to what I'm saying. The burden of proof is, if you were to tell me, for instance, that there is a pink statue of my grandmother floating 6 feet above my bed, the burden of proof is on you to prove it, not on the person that says that is not true. The burden of proof is not upon
But we're not talking about that.
Yes, we are talking about exactly that.
No, we're talking about God.
You're not understanding. The burden of proof not on the person
and we're still talking about the same thing.
I haven't heard, listen guys, how long have I been on? I haven't heard any proof and evidence that atheism is accurate and correct.
Certainly,
I you're
completely avoiding
Give me
the
something.
fact of what
You
we're
are
saying.
completely avoiding.
Just like I didn't say no.
That the host is scared.
Everybody,
to answer the question.
Rich,
let me just ask it again. What proof and evidence do you have that atheism is accurate and correct besides your opinion?
No, what?
Give me something.
Okay,
you have.
First of all,
give me something.
Hold on.
This is why people leave atheism.
Stop, or I'll put you on hold. Okay.
I'm on hold. Stop. I'm waiting.
No, we're very happy to, but you have to understand the nature of proof. If you assert
something...
Hold
on. Dan, let me break something down real quick, because I keep catching this, and it needs to be addressed. You keep saying that we have some burden of proof. We don't have any burden of proof on us.
Wrong.
You want us to provide evidence for a negative. I keep telling you that is not the case, and I make it very clear. We cannot prove that there is no God, but there is no evidence to suggest your God,
you just said,
the Muslim
God,
I
missed that.
the Hindu 3,000 plus, any of them have
what did you say? You can't prove that there is no God?
And we're not going to change that to suit the fact that you want us to provide you with something that you can't even show me where your
guys, I'm being very respectful.
Could
don't hang up. I mean, very respectful.
Of physics. As Christopher Hitchens has said, supernatural claims require supernatural evidence. If you want to claim that there is something supernatural, then you have to prove how it can break the laws of physics to exist.
To the host, can I ask you something? Because I thought I heard you say something, and I just want to make sure I don't misquote you.
It's Rachel. You can call me Rachel.
All right, Rachel. Sorry, Rachel, I didn't know your name. Rachel, did you just claim that you can't prove that God doesn't exist? Did you say that statement?
I said it like every atheist will say to you who is logical and rational.
So if you can't
we
prove
cannot prove that God does not
Listen to her
exist,
argument. Listen to what she actually says before you jump in.
I'm trying to listen, but you keep talking over. Go ahead, Rachel.
Listen.
The burden of proof is on the claim. We cannot prove that God does not exist, but there is no evidence. And until such time as you provide us evidence, we abstain from belief in any divine figures until such time as there is proof. We make the logical call. We say, look, I don't believe in pink unicorns. I don't believe in teapots floating around the moon. I don't believe in divine figures that can break the laws of physics. No, I make logical sense. You know what? Here's the problem with Christians. I'm going to put you on hold for a second if you don't stop when we're talking.
He's talking. I'm just trying to let me get over to the edgewise. But go ahead.
I have to finish a statement before you can.
All right, just don't hang up on me like most atheists get afraid and hang up, so don't get afraid and hang up on me. Go ahead.
I'm not afraid of you at all.
Oh, good.
Okay?
So don't hang up.
And it's not about fear, it's about frustration, because the problem is you have this cognitive disconnect. Anytime that I say to you that there are parameters for proving a divine figure, anytime that I say to you that the burden is not on us, you don't want to hear it. What you want to hear is that there is a weakness and a flaw in atheism. But we make the logical call. All that you have is an indoctrination, which you return to because you obviously haven't looked at the evidence. If you looked at all of the evidence that I have seen...
I left my indoctrination.
I don't care if you were an atheist for 10, 20 years. It doesn't mean that you did the work to be the atheist. And a lot of people don't. They simply get angry and they go, oh, there's no God. Or they make some snap judgment. But they never do the work to understand why it could be the point to be an atheist, why it could be valid to be an atheist. You didn't do the work, and it shows. Because the first thing that you do is start talking about atheism like it's a religion.
Rachel, can I say something? Rachel,
please,
you have failed. Rachel, you have failed miserably to provide proof and evidence that atheism is actually correct. However, you have conceded that you cannot prove that God doesn't exist. Therefore, you're not in atheism, you're in faiththeism. You're taking this all based on faith.
See, this is, I love this. Christians can't get it.
Your show is
I
great
love
for
the cognitive disconnect. You can't prove X, Y, or Z, so L must be true.
Give me some argument.
No,
give me an
if
argument.
I can't prove that the stars
dinosaurs
live in my bedroom, that doesn't mean it's true because I can't not prove it.
That God doesn't exist?
How
do dinosaurs prove that God doesn't exist? Come on.
No.
How about you know what? That doesn't even make rational sense. Where do you fit that in your logic?
That's what you said. You were bringing up dinosaurs and all this. None of that shows that God doesn't exist.
Actually, no. At this point, I was bringing up speciation and parasites and cancer.
You brought that up too.
And the fact that a T-Rex had a tumor.
Wait, let Rachel talk.
The fact that the same things in nature that happen to humans happen to animals.
How does that
prove
we are related?
True? That evolution happened, that we have overwhelming evidence of it, that there seems to be no divine direction. Humans are cousins to chimpanzees.
Rachel, how does
share
that
a common ancestor. We have evolved from bipedal, ape-like creatures.
Give him one last
word.
I
could go on and on.
Yes.
And you still won't listen.
Yeah, but Rachel, here's the thing. Don't hang up on me, guys. You said you're going to say listen. Here's the thing. Rachel conceded that she cannot prove that God does not exist. You guys should change this to the theistic show, the pink theist show. You should change it to the theist show. But Rachel, you didn't give me any proof and evidence that atheism is accurate and correct. None at all. You talk about dinosaurs, tumors.
Because you can't get it.
It totally is. This is why atheism is such a small... Just because you don't make rational sense doesn't mean atheists don't.
Theists rule the world. You know what? We make the rational sense. Because I don't make judgments based upon no evidence. You make all of your judgments based upon no evidence.
You know what? Dr. Craig was right. Dr. Craig said it is the atheist that believes in a few.
Oh, Dr. Craig. There's some great information.
Oh, he's
all right.
great.
Listen, Rick, thank you very much.
Hold on, don't cut me off. The atheist believes in a view of which there is no evidence.
And what do you believe in?
I believe in things that have proof and evidence. That's why I'm
Oh,
an
yes, and
atheist.
what are they?
I don't have enough blind faith to be like you guys.
If you believed in things that had proof and evidence, you would believe in science.
I
you would
really
believe in
believe.
You didn't
rationally
give me any evidence.
evaluating
Rachel,
your dogma.
be honest. You admitted that you cannot provide any proof and evidence that atheism is actually
And?
correct, didn't you?
What does
No,
that
you
mean
didn't.
besides that you want to find
Did you
a
admit
flaw?
that? Did you admit it? Be honest. Everyone's listening.
No,
Did you admit?
Here's the thing. I can admit it all day, and it will still lead to the same.
Rachel,
okay.
did
I'm
you
going to put
admit
you on
that
hold
there is no
because
proof and evidence? Oh, she's running from the debate as usual.
Oh, no, we're not running for debate. And if anything, Rich, we have a guest coming on, and I'd like to keep you, if possible, on hold so that we can talk to our guest, but then come back and talk about this sort of debate, perhaps with our guest, if that's okay.
Well, the problem here is this. It's going to keep being circular because he wants to hear that, oh, you can't prove a God exists. So therefore, it's the same theist view. You can't prove it, so therefore he must exist.
The burden of proof is not on us. The burden of proof is on the people making the claim.